Can you introduce yourself for everybody?
My name is Thressa Pinesmith, and I am the owner of a residential cleaning business called EastBay Housekeepers.
Excellent. And Thressa, is that how I
That's
pronounce it?
yes.
Excellent. Where were you born slash grow? Where did you grow up?
I'm born and raised in Oakland, California, which is a city in Northern California in the Bay Area.
Okay. And then as a kid, what were kind of some of your favorite things to do as a child?
Okay, so my mom keeps reminding me that I was not a very normal kid, and that I used to watch Meet the Press. I used to practice writing checks because I knew I would have to one day, and that I wanted to have a business when I grew up.
Okay. So as a kid, you already knew that you were going to do something with business.
Yes.
Wonderful. And then were either of your parents business owners?
Okay, so my mom had a daycare and she actually was a house cleaner. So, yeah, but she wasn't like it wasn't how it is now. We didn't have all the systems and processes. And then my dad, he was a fireproofer, which is part of construction, but then on the weekends he would do like painting and stuff at people's houses and all that. So they weren't business owners. Well, no, my mom had a daycare. She was a business owner, but they definitely had an entrepreneurial spirit.
So they had that mindset and they kind of gave it to you as well when you were growing up.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Um, so when you were a kid, did you want to be anything besides a business owner? When you were watching Meet the Press, were you watching anything else
The
or
only kid thing okay, so the other part, I don't know how I wanted both these things to happen, but I wanted to either have a business or be Miss Piggy and marry Steve Urkel. Those are
okay,
but all those things together was what I wanted to do.
okay. Um, definitely first time I've heard that.
I
What
wasn't a
was
normal kid at all.
what was when I hear people say I'm normal or that, I don't think there's normal. There's no such thing as everybody is their unique own person, and I never use the word normal or anything like that. So you were just super unique when you were a kid, and even now. So that which is wonderful. Um, so why did you? Let's go a little bit more towards the business now. Why did you want to start your business?
Okay, so I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, like I said earlier. And I dabbled in other businesses when I was younger, but it would be things like girly things like shoes or things like that. But I didn't know what I was doing. My brother suggested a cleaning business because he saw a video about it on YouTube. He was like, "T, I just think you would be really good at this." And I watched the video that he showed me. I didn't like it because it sounded kind of sketchy. But then I looked at another video. um, I just looked at another video and I was like, wait, I understand this business model so much. Like, because it was encouraging more of the remote management and all that stuff. So it was different than what I thought of. I thought of how my mom would just go to people's houses herself and clean and put up flyers and stuff. So I saw it and it just something just clicked in my brain like, oh, I could absolutely do this. And I saw that it was scalable. I realized that like a lot of millennials are not really with the domestic work anymore. So it just a lot of like I said, it just clicked like, oh, this makes so much sense to do. And it's not like, it's not a glamorous business, but it's a profitable business and people need it. And
Absolutely.
yeah, so it just I like that it was simple. I like that it made sense. I like that I immediately saw the need. And so as soon as I saw the second video on YouTube, which explained how to do it remotely and how to set up your business and that it's not even it was low cost to start. Um and how resourceful you just have to be resourceful. I was like, I can absolutely do that. And it just the feeling of empowerment, which I think a lot of people who are entrepreneurs like to feel made me want to do it even more because I was a little bit nervous about it. But then when I saw like this is something I can do on my own starting, then it made me want to do it.
Did you consult your mom at all when you were
Yes,
thinking
you
about
know what's
starting this?
crazy? My mom is like she's super domestic, super girly, super what she's not somebody I really think of as a business person, even though she did this. She has been really insightful as far as pricing, marketing, all these things. Like, she's been really good at that, and she's never been I've always been like, the little nerdy entrepreneurial one in the family, and she's never been one to give me advice about these type of things. She's been so active in, like, every single part of it as far as giving me advice. It's never been like this before, and everything she said has kind of been true. So,
Okay.
yeah.
When you first started, were you have you been did you do any of the cleanings? Or let's
Yes.
backtrack a little bit. When did you start? When
So
did you initially start?
I officially started in November. I did all the like the business formation website, signed up for Booking Koala. So yeah, that's when I started. So the second video that I saw where it made more sense, she suggested Booking Koala because of all the like all-in-one features, and that was a reason I was like, okay, good, make this easy for me. Um, so yeah, I started in November and I was doing the cleanings at first. My brother and I actually were doing the cleanings together, and um, we, you know, did the thumbtack thing. I didn't know about Google yet, or I didn't understand how the algorithm and all that stuff worked. But we did the simple things, posting on Facebook with our family, posting in Facebook groups, all that stuff, and just slowly, you know, did the best cleanings we could do so that we could get good ratings, and slowly started getting our reoccurring customers. So yeah.
Excellent. So you're roughly 5, 6 months in, totally
Mhm.
fresh, not even a full year.
Yeah.
Okay. And then how much did you invest when you first started?
I wanna say like 500.
500. And what did that mainly go towards?
Cleaning supplies, setting up, maybe a little bit more than 500, but cleaning supplies because we were doing our own cleanings, setting up. So that would be Booking Koala, the website, like the domain name, the email address, open phone. So the tech stack, I'm still learning like the lingo. Um, so the tech stack and the LLC and insurance.
Okay. And have you hired anybody to do the cleanings
Yes, it
since?
is. I can't believe I'm saying this, but it is hard to find good help. That's the only issue I run into, not getting customers, not getting like, not advertising, just finding good help, because the help that is good, they also have their own book of clients, and
Right.
then the help that thinks they're good is not
Not so
good.
much.
Yeah. So I have some independent contractors that I can call on, but it's more on call than being a part of the schedule. So that's the only part that's been a little bit tough for me to manage. But I kind of figured out what I have to do to change that, and that's just raise the rate that I pay them at, which is that's the only way to get good people is just to pay them fairly so they feel a part of your business. But yeah.
But at least you're recognizing what changes you need to make and how you need to
Well,
go about things about so you could grow. Do you have a timeline of like when you and your brother plan on not cleaning anymore?
we're trying to do it within like the next 30 days.
Okay, excellent.
So yeah, that's the thing. The thing that I like about the cleaning business is that your profit or your money, it will inform you as to what you need to change. You know what I mean?
That's
Everything's pretty cut and dry.
right. If something's not going right, you're gonna know within
Yeah, it's not
a
really
day
up for
or two.
interpretation. Yeah,
Yeah, you will know almost immediately what's going wrong, and you can almost pinpoint where that issue is. It's just the
exactly.
timeline on fixing it and how long it's going to take. It's a little different from everybody. So, but at least you're looking out for these things, and you have to make those changes.
Right.
What is your experience background for business? Did you go to college for it,
So
or
I didn't go to college. Um, well, no. It's a yes and no. I didn't go to college after high school. I went to college in middle school and high school concurrently, but then didn't go to college when it was time to go to college.
So you actually jumped it earlier. You were in college while in high school?
Okay, so in middle school, I was in a program at UC Berkeley that was a business program that taught you how to write business plans and all that stuff, right? And then in not in high school, I went to a high school that was on a college campus that let you enroll at the same time. By the time it was time for me to go to college, I was burnt out with
I
college.
see.
So, and then my parents weren't like they didn't have a traditional education, so it's not I wasn't necessarily encouraged. They didn't know what to do. They didn't know how to fill out a FAFSA. They didn't know all that stuff. And then there's this like T smart, she'll figure it out. I did not figure it out. But then I started doing like high end retail, and then I would always have like some kind of side hustle or whatever. I worked at AT&T for retail, and then I had a shoe company that I ended up being like this is when I realized I didn't know as much about business as I thought I did, because I should have did drop shipping and I just hindsight is 2020. But I had a shoe business, like I was featured in the Huffington Post and all this stuff, but I did not know how to do the operations. And to be honest, I probably will never do a product with inventory again, ever. I'll do another product business. I'll never do it with inventory again. But so I did that, and then I got burnt out again, continued with retail. Then I learned about like digital marketing and freelancing and all that stuff. So I've been doing that with one of my friends for the past couple years. And then I started EastBay Housekeepers.
Excellent. Going into a little bit more of the day-to-day things, what does your hiring funnel look like, and what are kind of some of your best practices for hiring? Or maybe what are some things on the flip side of that? What are some things that you know aren't working out for hiring?
Okay, so what things are not working out for hiring? Or all right. So my hiring funnel, I have a jot form that has like a specific set of questions, but what my primary standard are for cleaners are cleaners who have already been cleaning for at least 2 years, clearly have their own, so they would have their own supplies, have their own transportation, and I have like a couple questions on my job form, like if you had a 2 bedroom house with or a 3 bedroom house with 2 bathrooms and there were 2 floors, where would you start from? How do you handle irate customers? Stuff like that. I try to get, or the easiest place for me to get cleaners has been Facebook because
Okay,
cleaners who are already established are usually on Facebook advertising their services anyway. So they're looking for work and their book might be not completely full or they might just have like a empty spot for the week or whatever. And so those are the easiest that's been the easiest place. And then also those cleaners will refer to me other people that they know. So not worst practices, don't get anybody who wants to learn on the job unless you have somebody willing to train them. Um it's like it's just better to have cleaners who already know how to clean. That's it. It's to have people who have an established rapport with clients who already have done this for a while because there's too many things to learn on a job to let it be, to let them learn on your business, especially because so much of my business comes from reviews. So I don't want to put myself in a position where I get a bad review because I gave somebody a chance and then
right.
it takes because all my Google, my Thumbtack, my Yelp, all 5 star. Trying to keep it that way.
Excellent.
Yeah, right. Want to keep it that way. That's the and
Yes.
so I've had a cleaner one time not do who was starting out. They were starting out from another industry that was similar and they did not do a good job and we had to go back and redo the cleaning for free. And that was fine because there was a I had a warm introduction with that client, so it wasn't they didn't slander me on Yelp or anything like that, but it could have gone that way. So
Right.
once again, have cleaners who are already established is the best practice. I will say I had gotten that advice. Like I said, I went to YouTube University to learn about all this stuff, and that was already in my mind. Like that was already told to me through these videos, and I still was like, oh well, let me see. I just want to see what happens. I'll give somebody a chance. No. Find established cleaners. That's the best practice.
And a lot of people think, who are looking for jobs, they'll come up on a post about becoming a cleaner. And I've heard this time and time again where everyone's like, I clean my own apartment or I clean my own house and everybody can clean. That's not true.
Not the same.
And especially with that and deep cleans, move out, move in, post construction, once you get into higher end homes that have specific, tile or granite, and they're using an all in one cleaner for the stainless steel and the wood, and it doesn't work out that way.
At all. That does not work at all. And so that's why I said established cleaners is the best practice you could possibly do, because there are certain things you don't have to worry about. And there's certain things, and they know what to communicate to you. They know how to communicate. Oh, I went to this house and it's in way worse condition than
right.
Or it's going to take 5 hours instead of 2 to 3 hours. Like, so that's the thing. And that's also the thing that an established cleaner, you don't have to worry about time management as much. So
you could focus on the business more while they're handling the client's home and what needs to be done.
Exactly.
And they're not constantly texting you, calling you, being like, hey, this is happening, or they want to add this. It's somebody who's been in that position can seamlessly handle that and then get to you later on. Unless it's a 911 emergency, you don't have to be involved. And that's where hiring people who have been in these situations and, been established, that's what's key. So
exactly.
Excellent. And then now going on to marketing. How are you marketing? What are some successful strategies? What are some unsuccessful strategies?
Okay, so I wouldn't say unsuccess. No, okay, so the successful strategies I'll start with. So Thumbtack initially was a successful strategy. I just don't like how much their leads cost, and that the fact that it could be like hit or miss as far as their leads actually like being ready to hire. I really like Google pay-per-click and Google local services because people are looking for what they're looking for you. You just have to have the budget for the marketing, but they're already looking for you. So it's just as usually as simple as closing them on while you have them at that time. That's what I like Google. I like Facebook, but that's more broad as far as like just creating the presence and leading them back to your website. It's not necessarily about closing, but as far as like just building a relationship and letting the community know you're there, it's good for that. But I'm kind of veering away from Thumbtack because of what I said earlier. I know your leads can't be guaranteed, but with Google, they're more guaranteed than they are with Thumbtack. Thumbtack people are shopping around. Google people, they're shopping around, but they're shopping with the intent to buy.
They're more serious.
They're way more serious because they looked up cleaner near me. Like they're looking at exactly what they need at the time. They're not looking to see what prices are. They're looking to see how to book or where to book,
Right.
So I prefer that. And then referrals. So referrals because I have 5-star rating, or referrals because we did a good job at this one home, and so they've referred us to another client. I have a client who their property manager and everybody in their family, not property manager, they're property owner of long-term rentals, and everybody in their family is kind of in the business. So like we just got a referral from them, and now that person, their family member, is referring us to another family member. So referrals are always a good thing, which once again leads you back to making sure that you have good cleaners, because you'll only get good referrals if you're giving good service. So,
absolutely. Yeah. And then going back a little bit for Facebook, is it ads? Are you running Facebook ads? Are you posting in community groups? Are you
So
posting on your own page?
community groups have been a little hard because the spamming rules. I had to make a little notion that says like what days are okay to post.
Okay.
So I've been doing ads, and I like Facebook ads because they're really cheap. They're really cheap, and you could just do like you have to do your own research as far as how to create your profile and who you're marketing and targeting. But once you kind of figure that out, you'll get the clicks that you need to get. You'll get the right audience.
Right. And once you build up enough customers that have paid, you can use them as an
Them
audience and put that right into Facebook and it'll pull everybody
exactly,
like them.
exactly. Excuse
Awesome. So California,
me. Mhm.
massive. So many companies, so many cleaning companies.
Mhm. Yes.
With you being less than 6 months old, what are you doing to break through to the market? What makes you different than your competitors?
Okay, so one, because of the fact that my background has been largely retail and customer service, I'm really good on the phone. I'm really good as far as building a rapport with a customer quickly enough to close them when I get that initial call. That is something. This is why else I want to stop cleaning so much so I can be available for the phones. Two, because I'm black owned and woman owned, some people want to just participate in that as far as supporting a black owned company or a woman owned company. Three, 5-star ratings help. There are companies that have way more ratings than I do, but they're not five.
Yeah.
So that's it. And but I really think, and this is why I said I want to put more money into Google because of the fact that my customer service is great, like it's fantastic because of the fact that when I'm on the phone, I usually can close. I hate missing calls because
Yes.
because the likelihood that it could have been booked is I book at more than half the time on the phone. Like my website at this point, it's good for the CRM is really good for managing my existing clients and for people pricing out, so I can go over them over the phone, like what they're doing. But my once they see the website is professional and all that stuff, and they get me on the phone, it's like close, close. You know what I mean?
Hmm. So your strengths are just talking to them and working over any objections, whereas if they're calling and leaving a voicemail and you're getting to it a couple hours later, they could have made contact with other
Just exactly,
cleaning companies and it's a little bit harder to get through to them.
exactly.
But like you mentioned with the reviews, other companies have way more reviews, but they could be a 3.5 or a 4 star, and you have less, but a 5. I'm the
Right,
type of person personally where I would take a 5 star business that's got 10 reviews versus a other business that's got 3.5 stars but has 50 reviews.
right,
Just because I'm willing to give the newer business a chance, because a lot of the time when they're starting off, that service is going to be beyond excellent. And even if it's not, it's better than going to somewhere established where they've had the time to, make changes, but yet they're not.
right.
So,
And I think a lot of millennials feel that way. I think that's how a lot of us shop because we know that a newer business with 5 stars is more likely to do a good job. And we know that a lot of businesses can be kind of antiquated as far as how they operate. And that might be why they have a 3.5-star rating because they haven't fixed anything at all.
exactly, they might be whoever they might be, a little bit older or whatever, they might be stuck in their ways and being
Mhm.
like, 8 out of 10 people love it this way, but those 2 out of 10 hate it.
Right,
Well, I'll deal with those 2 out of 10.
right.
But why not figure out what those two dislike so much and just add it and get 10 out of 10 to give you that 5 star?
Exactly.
So excellent. How much time? I know it's, only been less than 6 months since you started 6 months ago in November to
Mhm.
now, does the amount of time you put in the business, has it gone down or has it increased? Has it stayed the same? How many hours were you putting in November versus now?
It's definitely gone down, and that's because I kinda understand more how to do things. I was really, when I first started, I was really focused on, like, the wrong things, or I was more focused on setup and not worrying or not trying to figure out. I didn't know the best sales funnel, and I didn't know how I wanted to hire people, or I was just not running through people, but I was trying to, like I said, give people a chance and all this other stuff that wasn't working. So I definitely spend less time on it now, and also because I switched from using Thumbtack as my primary lead source to Google as my primary lead source, so I don't have to spend as much time on it as I previously did. There's a couple of things I still want to automate, but as far as time is concerned, like once you have everything set up and you understand who your customer is and you understand how they find you, then it gets easier. And then, like, fortunately, Booking Wow is like really easy to use. So that it's not like I have to spend tons of time updating the CRM. But when I first started, like I had to change my pricing again, I had to change my
Right.
website again, I had to like fine tune all these things because I didn't understand what I was doing. Now I understand how to do everything. I understand how to quote. If I have to give a discount, I understand my will like my wiggle room, all that stuff off the top of my head, and I don't have to you know do a math equation to try to figure out how to still be profitable.
Right. Roughly how many hours a day or a week were you doing in the beginning and versus now? Doesn't
In
have
the
to be
beginning,
exact.
it was a full time because I
Full
did
time.
I did my website myself. I did like if well, I did my website myself. Oh well, no, I'm sure some people would pay to fix book and koala up and all those things. I didn't do that. I did my website myself, and I did my graphics myself. I did all my like signing up for everything. I did the math myself to figure out if I want to do square footage versus hourly versus whatever. And I did everything myself, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I was always constantly referring back to YouTube and seeing if I was on the right track and talking to people and doing all this market research and whatever and consulting my mom, which she ended up being right about so many things that I could have just did from the beginning. Um, but yeah, it was full time when I first started. And then I was doing all the cleanings myself. So that was the other part. So it was full time. I probably spend like 10 hours a week now, but
10 hours a week total on
every
just like the
every day.
back end stuff, not cleanings included.
No, well, no, I don't do all the cleanings. So now my brother, because at first we were slow too, so that's the other thing.
I see.
He doesn't need me to to do. So, so yeah, probably like 10 hours a week. Sometimes 15 if I'm doing cleanings too. But yeah, like 10.
Wow, excellent.
Yeah,
And is this your only business or
it's my
currently?
only business, but I am. It's my only business. I work. Well, no, kind of. I work part time doing project management and virtual assisting for my friends. So that's why I was able to do all the stuff, back end stuff myself. But I am actually looking for a full time job because I want to do like I. My goal is to not run my business at all. I plan to keep my business because I'm screening business is a smart business to do. Now I know a lot of people are doing it now, which whatever, but I plan to keep my business. I don't plan to sell it. Like But I'm looking for a full-time job, so because my schedule is just all over the place, and I don't wanna do that anymore. But yeah, this is my only business. I plan on starting another business for digital products, so this actually opened up some entrepreneurial stuff, like, all the way back up for me, because before, like I said, when I had the shoe business, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing when I started this, but because the business model is so simple, it was easy to become profitable over time. Like everything made sense and fell into place so quickly. So now it made me realize I just didn't know what I was doing that one time. But being an entrepreneur, despite the fact that it's challenging, it's very possible to do it and make a living and be okay. So yeah,
So you want to get this very shortly to almost self-running, maybe with a virtual assistant taking care of all the calls and stuff like
exactly,
that, and then
exactly.
also have a full-time job so you have dual income, one from your business and then one from your job.
That is my goal. Like I didn't even want to have a job. This made me want to have a job because I'm like, oh, this could be its own standing thing, and I could have a dual income. Like I, I I'm really happy with how this is going, and I'm getting a lot of support from my personal network because of the fact that they're seeing that it makes sense. Yeah, I hear a lot of people talk about how their family or friends might not support their businesses, and I'm like, I don't have that issue at all. But that's because the business makes sense. It's not, and people who may have thought that like house cleaning back in the day may have thought that it was this fancy thing are now like, no, this is a necessary thing. This is more of
Yes,
a necessity than it is a luxury. So,
right. And it's beautiful about it is that it's always going to be recurring. Somebody's always going to need cleanings, and it's not just one time. Some people could get
exactly.
a cleaning on Monday, and by Thursday or Friday, they might not need somebody to come out again. They might not necessarily get two cleanings in 1 week, but it's totally possible.
Exactly.
Would you ever consider, I mean, if the business was doing so well and running itself, not have that full time job and just possibly, well, you mentioned starting another product
Hmm.
potentially. So you would just have other businesses as well instead of another job.
Maybe it depends on how much we do next year. Now, I don't know. Okay, because how I said earlier, how I ended up getting burnt out not finishing college. I feel like I have to catch up as far as income wise, as far as I won't say my peers. I was raised in the hood. We weren't necessarily encouraged to go to college and all this stuff. But I know there's other people who were. And so I feel like I'm playing catch up income wise to reach certain milestones. So it would be, but I feel like I'm in a fortunate position because of the business that I can catch up.
Hmm.
And even with this economy, I don't even feel like unsure of being able to do that because of this business. And so that's part of the reason I'm doing the dual income thing. But if my business exceeds the income from this job as far as paying me, then of course I would consider it. Well, it's not even if. When it does, of course I would consider that. So yeah.
Okay. If you wouldn't mind sharing November and December when you started, those
Mhm.
2 months, how many how much revenue did you do those 2 months? Did you have any cleanings in those 2 months?
November I didn't. In November I was too scared. My first month I had like I think maybe 2,500.
Okay.
But one was a hoarder house, so it was like I cheated. So because it was
It-
such a
It's it's not cheap. Somebody needed your services, so
yeah,
it's
so
just a high
it
ticket.
was in my personal network, and oh, that's another thing. Networking in your personal network is one of the best ways to get clients because you never know who needs services, and they just don't know. A lot of people don't trust strangers in their house or whatever, and
Right.
so knowing somebody personally will help them like take that step to get a cleaner.
Excellent. So, and then 2,500 in December. Where are you at for this year so far? January till now. How much have you done roughly?
So not that I don't want to say not that much, but I want to say like 15,000. It's been like a because I've been working on other things, so like 15.
Okay, so in 5 months, you're almost at 20K in revenue.
Yeah.
What do you have projected for the rest of the year? What is this year going to look like if you didn't grow so far and you just kept who you have recurring, what are you projected to do at the end of the year?
I think I think 40.
40?
Yeah,
And that's not with no more growth.
that's with no more growth. But part of the reason I'm doing this job is I want to take like a good maybe $1,500 and put it into Google services and like really see what I could do
Pump
because
up those ads.
I didn't know how to reinvest my money either when I first started, and now I know it works. You know?
Okay. Yeah. So now that you know, it's just get the money, dump it in, and then watch the growth happen.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, where do you see your business in the next 5 to 10 years?
Okay. Oh, you know what? I forgot a funnel that or something I use. I also am doing
Sure.
Airbnbs. I just started doing
Okay.
Airbnb. So I don't know how much is gonna grow from that either. Because it's been 1 month. I'm on turnover, or Turno. It's Turno now. They changed it. So that I don't know how much that's gonna grow either because I just started. But sorry, what was the what was the last question?
That's okay. The next 5 to 10 years, where do you see your business at?
Okay, so in the next 5 to 10 years, I would like to be ranked #1 on Google for Oakland businesses. Not Bay Area, but Oakland specifically. Oakland is actually a big enough market that if I can just do Oakland, that I would be in a good position. I would like to at least be doing like, because you said 5 to 10 years. That's a
Hmm.
good, okay. The 5 to 10 years, I would want to be doing like 50,000 a month.
Okay.
'Cause I'm in tons of Facebook groups for cleaners, and I see that that's entirely possible, but it's really about your management. It's really about yeah, it's really about how you manage everything in your customer service and making sure, like, your operations just has to be straight. So I would have to eventually alternate as far as how many hours I'm, um how many hours I'm investing as far as time, and when I do that influx, having like the cleaner set up. So that's what I was saying. The next 30 days, I'm trying to get a lot of operational things together because of the full time job thing. Even though I plan to work remotely anyway, well, I'm going to be working remotely. So no matter what, I'll still be able to manage because I do this business. eh, It's it means a lot to me. So I want to make sure that it continues to work. Um, but yeah, I think yeah, I see it growing a lot. I want to have more Airbnb clients because they are a lot. They're consistent. I am interested in doing commercial, but commercial as far as doing like property management and stuff, not so much doing um, offices and all that stuff. Well, I have to learn more about that, and that's more of a me getting the kind of cleaners that I need situation. So, but I still would own it. That's the thing. In 5 or 10 years, it'd still be mine. So
Okay.
that's what I want.
With that number that you shared, that 50,000 a month, that was a very conservative number. You could definitely, if the next 30 days turn out
Right.
the way you like it to, I mean, you could potentially even hit that next year.
That's what I was thinking, and I'm like, am I being too concerned? But
I,
it's just because I have a lot of competition out here, and so I want to be mindful of that. But maybe I shouldn't be because if I have a 5-star company and then I end up with like 55-star rating, right now we have 15, then that would be and then ranking #1 on Google because one thing I'm realizing a lot of cleaning businesses, their SEO, they don't know, they're not utilizing that at all. And then I want to be listed for like, um, I don't have what is the speaker Amazon has, the one that you're talking to that I refuse to put.
Alexa,
Yeah, I want to be on Alexa listings. Like that's something I plan to do in the next 30 days. There's a lot of I know a lot of things now in hindsight that I would have done with my initial, well, my start of investment wasn't that much, but I know strategy wise, a lot of things I would have done differently now. So I plan to implement all that stuff in the next 30 days.
I mean, you're not even 6 months in. So if you're thinking from when you started till now, your mindset and where you're looking at with things is excellent and so much faster than a lot of other business owners that I've spoken to. They kind of realize these things a little bit later,
Mhm.
but like we were mentioning earlier in the call, that there are so many cleaning services that are already out there and established, and more coming out. I don't believe that the market is oversaturated. You have, like you said, a lot of competition in your area. That's also a good thing, because not everybody who uses your competition is going to stay with them.
That's
Their
true.
cleaner might have a bad day. They might end up having a bad cleaning. They might get upset and be like, you know what? I'm done with them. I'm not going to use them again. Let me find somebody else. And then they happen upon you. So sometimes looking at a specific region and seeing a lot of competition can also be can be a good thing. Whereas if you're looking at a different region and there's no competition, a lot of people might jump on that, but there might be a reason for that, because there's
That's true.
not enough customers looking at getting cleanings, or the demographic is wrong, or whatever the reason may be. So definitely a good thing what you're doing and what you're seeing. That 50,000 is absolutely doable, and I know you're going to hit it. You're going to crush that goal. And if that's your 5 to 10 year goal, keep it that way. Once you hit that 50,000, 10x it. You know,
Okay.
I want to be at 500K a month and go from there, because
Okay.
there's definitely cleaning services that are doing it. It just keep doing what you're doing. Work on the 5-star reviews, get the best cleaners that you can, and do what you know best. You know, connect with your customers, make sure they're always happy, and you will hit that 50K a month very, very quickly.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Let's see, where were we here? So, when you started in November, did you look at any other softwares, or were we kind of the
Yeah,
first?
I went on a website that compared softwares, but I didn't really whatever. Well, one, the pricing was really good. I like the fact that you could have a website template with Book and Koala, because even though I know how to do basic building stuff, I don't know how to code. Like I know how to do like color codes and stuff. Not really.
Mhm.
And then, like I said, I went on one YouTube channel. I didn't like how they were doing stuff. It sounded super scammy. And then I went on another one, and she specifically recommended Book and Koala. And her her YouTube channel, she was very forthcoming with information, and she showed that her business was profitable. So I'm like, why would I try something where I don't know it's going to work, where I'm seeing somebody who has the business model that I want to use and it's already successful for her? So I just was like, I'm stealing her whole tech stack. Well, not stealing it because she said use it, but I'm going to just do what she did. And then once I got over figuring out how to do the pricing, everything else with Booking Koala was easy. Well, actually, it wasn't even that the pricing is hard because of the Booking Koala. The pricing was hard because I just had to figure it out. But I just like that you could have I like that everything was already in there. You know what I mean? That I could figure out how to do every single thing from the CRM, because it's not so much stuff to manage. I have ADHD. I can't be managing a whole bunch of tools. I need to be able to do everything in one space. And so it just made it easy. And then the integration was easy. Like just yeah. It's just I liked it a lot. I like it a lot. And I don't plan to change. And I've looked at other stuff like since to make sure, because like I said, I've learned more things since then. And even looking at different CRMs since then, I still like I don't have. There's no reason for me to change. It doesn't make sense. So yeah.
Excellent. I Thank you for sharing that. I also, I have ADD as well, so I completely get where you're coming from. If you have something that's all in one and not having different, having to bounce from, let's say you have your website built on Wix and then, or Squarespace or wherever, and then you have another CRM for, email lists and like MailChimp and stuff like that, and just having everything
And
all
I
over the
tried
place
to do all that.
and logging in it just, you get lost. It's
Mhm.
too much. You get lost. Having everything in one spot is perfect. And people who can handle doing other things more hands on, we could also integrate with that, but this was the whole concept behind Booking Koala, having everything in one space, just like Shopify is for products. You have everything in one spot. That's where we came in and wanted to do the same thing for the service industry and be able to incorporate all those things in one spot for everyone to use as well.
Right. I would suggest one thing though. Okay, so it's a for new business owners, it's a big jump between the $57 and the 100 and whatever one. You should do some of the features like a la carte, like the email marketing.
Mm-hmm.
You should be able to have them a la carte because then as you grow, if you're not ready for doing the $127 one, even though or the email marketing and the bilingual, those are the two features
Okay.
that you might want to do a la carte
Okay.
because so many people, there's so many like Spanish speaking independent contractors, and the email marketing is just, you need email marketing as much as people think you don't, you do. So
Yes.
you might want to think about making some of the features a la carte just so that way. And then that'll give you more recurring income anyway, because you'll be able to. And now, I don't know how that works programming wise, so maybe I'm wrong. But
No, you're absolute. I appreciate the feedback. I'll bring it back to my team. We're always listening. We're always open to feedback, and that is one of the things that has been brought up before.
okay.
So yeah, absolutely. I already have it marked down. I will. I'll bring it to our team and see what we could do about that.
Okay.
So you've kind of already mentioned throughout the video what kind of drew you into using us and why was, you saw that video on YouTube of this
Her,
person
her name's
explain.
Jasmine Tates, and her whole website or her whole YouTube is about starting a remote cleaning business.
Okay, and most of that is how she's using us and what features. So when you found her, that was kind of what brought to light, your idea coming to fruition and
Mhm.
being able to do everything. What are one or two of your favorite features through us?
The calculator, the actual being able to like, it's not called a calculator, but the being able to build out the pricing, even though I know for some people it's complicated. Yeah, it's complicated to set up because pricing is complicated, whatever. But once you do it and it's done, it's so easy because sometimes you're not going to remember all your prices off the top of your head,
Right.
especially because I'm doing mine by square footage. California, you can have a two-bedroom that's 800 square feet. You can have a two-bedroom that is 2,000 square feet. So I learned the hard way, square footage. And then, you know, the condition or if it's a deep cleaning standard, whatever. So, being able to set up the price and being able to have so many different like options as far as how you do it is has been so helpful to me because I changed, like I said, I had to work on my pricing more than once, but now I got it down. But being able to do that and being able to have like I have standard cleaning and deep cleaning, heavy duty deep cleaning, square footage, whatever a la carte stuff that I have on there, pet fee, next day fee. Like I have the fact that I can do that, but I don't have to like that the customer can go on the website and just do their booking, or the fact
Mhm.
that they can ask for a quote and I'm like, this is this much and call it a day. and not have to look at like some document or try to remember off the top of my head if I'm out and about, because sometimes people call me and I'll be doing something else. I can still just go on my phone or go on my iPad and be like, It's this much." And add the reoccurring discounts. Like that's the pricing feature is, I know it can be a pain, but it's a pain because you don't understand what you're doing. But
Hmm.
once you understand what you're doing and you know what you want, I'm so grateful for that, because I wouldn't be able to run my business if it wasn't for that. I don't know how, because if I would have tried to do a WordPress, oh, actually, I forgot. I did try to do WordPress at first, and I tried to communicate that to a programmer, and I couldn't because I didn't know what I was doing. So being able to do that through Booking Koala helped a lot. It's helped exceedingly well. So that's feature number one. Feature number two, I think just being able to look at the schedule the way that I can look at it, like the fact that you have the dashboard and you can list it like by day or by like the different ways you can look at it. The dashboard is just really easy to understand. And like yesterday, I realized I didn't assign my brother, thank God he's my family member, but I didn't assign a cleaner to a cleaning the same day. And I was like, I hurry up and did it. And I was like, and I called, I was like, "Hey." And he was like, "I already got the text." Love that. Love that. So
The
I like,
automatic texting and email messages to your
yes,
providers.
yes, to my providers and to my clients, because part of my customer service is that seems like from the outside they don't know that all this stuff is automated. So from the outside to the client, when I'm like, "Oh, and you're gonna email the day before and blah 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 blah," it makes them feel comfortable when they're first booking me because they don't know me.
Right.
And I can tell in the conversation that makes them feel comfortable when I let them know that. So yeah.
Having that transparency with your customers and just allowing them to be, I guess, integral and like almost family within
Mhm.
your business is huge, because it's, if you were cleaning a family member's house, you would send them a text, "Hey, I'm on the way," or
Right.
"Hey, I'm late." you know why not with all customers? So booking form and kind of just dashboard and user interface for several things.
Yeah. It's easy to, once you have it set up, setting it up is hard, and I feel like maybe you want to do more, like more. I haven't been on your YouTube channel in a minute. I used to be like, I use YouTube for everything, but you might want to do more like tutorials or whatever on how to set up everything. But once you set it up, then it's like just smooth sailing. Oh, well, no, I was gonna say, and maybe have have integration in Zapier, but I don't even know what integration will work with that. I don't even know what I need yet. That's
we do
now that,
have a ton with Zapier, but we're always adding more.
but I'm not even ready yet. That's I'm thinking in the future. So yeah,
But at least you're thinking about it. You're
yeah.
not staying small. You want to get to that point, which
Hmm.
is huge. Um, Being kind of, less than a year old, you have had enough time to be in the software. What is one feature that we don't have that you wish we do?
It's not that you don't have it; it's that I don't have it yet. It's that I have to do the,
Plan jump, go to the next plan.
mhm, and I'm not ready for that yet. But it's that I wish that email marketing was part of the plan that I had,
I see.
because if it was, then all my stuff would be more seamless. So right now I am using MailChimp, but I don't want to be using it.
Okay.
No, I'm using MailChimp. I don't want to use that. And it's not I don't have a problem with MailChimp. I just want, like I said, everything to be in the same thing. And because then that way I could follow up with I can make up my own campaign for leads that might have fell through the cracks. And reestablish them. So it's not that. So that's why I said you should either have an a la carte thing, or you should make something in the between the 57 and the higher tier one, because there are business owners who are not quite ready for the higher tier, and that could be very just specific to me and not be anybody else's experience, but it's mine. Um, so yeah, but other than that, I'm actually pretty happy with. Oh wait, let me see. Mm, I think when I first I don't know what the future would be, but when I first started, I maybe something with SEO, but I don't know what that would be. But then I don't know
Okay.
that everybody even understands SEO because they don't. Because I didn't. So
We do have SEO integrated into the websites,
yeah,
so you can rank. Um, that's a little bit more in-depth kind of thing that you would have to look into and see what your meta tags and
yeah.
descriptions and
So
all that is.
I don't have really that many. I don't have really complaints about it because everything that I didn't know, I just had to figure out. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like there's
Absolutely.
not. I don't. Is there an integrated checklist into the top tier?
Integrated checklists
Like, can
and
you do checklists for for your independent contractors? Can you put checklists for the cleaning in or for whatever? Because I know it's not just cleaning that people use
mhm.
cooking flowers for. Can you add checklists to the jobs when you do the higher up tier?
Yeah, that's in your plan and the next plan as well.
Oh, see, I don't even because I don't because of my independent contractor issue, I don't know that. So yeah, no, there's nothing I could think of that's because cleaning is pretty cut and dry, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, the reviews, integrating the Google reviews onto the website. You can't do that. You
So
can only
that
do
you could
the
go it basically backwards,
yeah,
show what's on Google on your site.
instead of the reviews that come from straight to Booking Koala, I would want those on there to be able to integrate those onto yeah.
Okay. I know there are widgets that you could
Mhm.
put in, put the code in and it'll populate. But as kind of like the banner system that we have, that's I'll let me see, I'll write that down.
But yeah, it's not like it's a whole bunch of stuff missing from Booking Koala, so it's hard to just come up with things that like, you know?
Yes. Um, one feature specifically that you could not live without, what would it be?
The actual book, that's
The booking form.
the booking form. I could not, and yeah, no, that's what you guys will have me forever because I can't see. I like how it looks aesthetically too. So it's not just the fact that like it's functional. I like how it looks. I like that you can customize it to go with your brand colors. Like
Mhm.
I like it. It's perfect to me.
Excellent.
Wait, can you? Oh, make it take Apple Pay.
Apple Pay. Okay.
Yes, that is a missed opportunity. I swear. If it could take Apple Pay, that would be
In
perfect.
in terms of like the tap, like if they had their phone
No,
and
like you know how you can. So you can do. Like with some. I know you could do this with Square based stuff, but you can pay with Apple Pay, and then you just put in like. Now I can't tell you how to do it off the top of my head, but there's stuff where you could do Apple Pay. You push. You know
I
what I
get what
mean?
you're saying. So
Okay.
Apple Pay, Google Pay, and then there's like credit
Yes.
card, stuff
Yes.
like that. Okay.
If they could take Apple Pay, because like I said, I see millennials are such a bigger part. I thought it was gonna be all older people. It's millennials who are like a big part of my customer base or who are attracted to getting cleaning services. So especially millennials who work remotely, because I think it helps them separate the work life balance stuff.
Mhm.
So yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, the booking calculator is I can't live without that. I can't. I'm not gonna learn how to set that up in some other.
Software.
I'm not doing that. I'm just
Yeah.
not gonna do it. It's
That's that's one big thing is once you're kind of set with a software and you take all the time to learn all the settings and get everything set up, it is hard to transfer out um, for several reasons. One, time. Two, money. I mean, there's a bunch of things.
mhm,
Um, kind of final question here. You were in this situation about 6.5 months ago, right before November. You were new, never did this. What are some words of encouragement you would give somebody who is on the fence about starting a service business who will be watching this?
if you're on the fence about starting a service business, you should absolutely do it because there's no I won't say there's no way to mess it up, but even if you mess it up, you can still get better and do it and be good at it. Like, service businesses are the way to go because they'll always be around. So, despite what's going on with the economy or what's going on in the world, these are businesses we've always had. That proves in itself that it will be successful. All you have to do is get into it. That's it. And there's so much information out there as to learn how to be better. There's so much information out there. So even if you mess up, you can still get better. There's nothing stopping you from being as good as you can be.
Excellent. Yeah, there's so many groups on Facebook, Reddit, Twitter. I
Mhm.
mean, the service industry community, the business owners, and everybody who works within the industry are some of the most helpful people that I have ever met, especially in our book and qual community. When I'm reading through somebody who just started and they have a question about whether pricing or a setting option or whatever, within 20 minutes, there's several people already responding, being like, hey,
Exactly.
this is how you do it. If this is how you want to do it, you should also check out this way to do it. They're just, everybody's so helpful, and nobody's going to shoot you down. Nobody really
Right.
says that's a dumb question, or everybody's willing to help. Everybody knows that new business owners are going to come out, and even if they're in your market, they know that they're not gunning directly to take every single one of your customers. So
Well, they know,
that's
like
why.
you said, there's so much opportunity out there. So
Mhm.
even if you are in your same market, that your customer might not be the other person's customer at all.
Right, right. Well, thank you so much for your time.